Our friends Chris and Nicole arrived last night, and today we're all taking the ferry to Tortola to go sailing in the British Virgin Islands.
Is that the boat? Is that our sailboat? Is that our sailboat?
Oh, the big one there?
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice, eh? After breakfast, we head over to the ferry dock to check our luggage. We still have a couple of hours to kill, so we go for another walk in Charlotte O'Malley. There's a famous market pavilion called the Bungalow, originally from the 1800s. It's just after noon, so the market has slowed down a bit, but there's still lots of fresh fruit and vegetables. And the cooked food is just starting for the lunch crowd. Oh, this looks good. Ooh. Pastel colors on the island are really cool. And so are all the little hidden laneways. We just have time for a quick drink before heading back to the ferry. Ferry services to and from Tortola are quite frequent and offered by a few companies. You can take ferries from here in Charlotte O'Malley or Red Hook on the far east side of St. Thomas.
Going that way. Then we're going that way. We're going that way?
From Charlotte O'Malley to Road Town, the capital of BVI, the British Virgin Islands, it's only 34 kilometers as the crow flies, about a 90-minute ferry ride. The BVIs are made up of about 60 islands and keys. The four largest islands are Virgin Gorda, Jos van Dijk, Anegada, and Tortola. BVIs are one of the best sailing cruising grounds in the world, so we're really excited for the opportunity to sail here. All four of us have sailing experience, which is really good. Chris and Nicole have a 30-foot sailboat which they sail off the west coast of British Columbia. They also spent several years as liveaboards on their 27-foot sailboat and sailed the East Coast, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Bahamas. Lori and I also have a 30-foot sailboat which we sail on Lake Ontario. We're so grateful and thrilled that Chris and Nicole invited us to join them for this charter. The BVI's economy is split between tourism and financial services. Tourism accounts for about 40% of their economy, of which sailing is a significant portion.
Then I don't have to haul line.
It's also a popular cruising ship destination. Plus, there's loads of vacation properties, even some very exclusive ones, such as Richard Branson's Necker Island. By far, the island's success has been as a financial services hub, mostly from license fees for offshore companies. Concerns and rules about BVI acting as a tax haven and as a depository for corrupt regimes have recently forced the country to rethink their financial businesses. For our first night on the island, we're staying in a hotel just a short walk from the ferry. Then we'll head to the marina the next day to start our sailing charter. Overall, the BVI's population is about 36,000, and here in Road Town, the capital, home to about 15,000 people. Compared to St. Thomas, Tortola has a very quiet and laid-back atmosphere, although we have heard that some of the pubs here can get pretty raucous. By the time we get back to our hotel, we all decide to turn in early. Next day, despite the temptation to jump in the pool, we get ready to head over to the marina a bit before noon when the charter starts. BVI Yacht Charters is located at Wickham's Quay, at the east end of the harbour. Wickham's Quay was a separate island, but in a land reclamation project was attached to the mainland along with several other small islands. BVI Yacht Charters is a growing company with about 70 boats, the majority catamarans, but we've booked a monohull. This is our boat, Arid, a 38-foot Beneteau. Beautiful. Comes with a 14-foot inflatable, which will allow us to anchor, then go exploring. Knowing that we all have good sailing experience, Chris has hired the boat as a bareboat charter, which means we'll skipper and provision the boat ourselves. So we'll spend our first afternoon grocery shopping, then familiarizing ourselves with the boat. Fortunately, there's a big grocery store just a 10-minute walk away.
Where are you going? Okay. Turn left.
After a couple of shopping trips, we think we have enough food and supplies for at least half the week.
Hurry up! Will you hurry up?
We didn't film it, but we spent a couple of hours getting an orientation and going over the boat with the BVI Yacht Charters team. Then we load up and unpack our luggage.
Put on the ruby slipper.
And get fitted up with snorkeling gear. After a very late lunch at the moorings, the marina on the other side of Wickham's Quay, it's time to do our final check on the boat systems. It's getting a bit late in the day to sail off anywhere, so we decide to spend our first night at the dock. Wickham's Quay is right next to the cruise boat terminal. Amazing to witness these massive ships coming and going. We finally get settled in for our first night on Arran.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thanks for joining.
This is amazing.
Hey, that's
and this is to Aaron.
Day 2 on Arran starts with an unsettling feeling. None of us have had a good night's sleep as Arran uncomfortably pitches and rolls all night long from swells rolling in from across the harbour. The wind has really picked up overnight, and with the dock's exposure to the swells, boats are straining at their lines throughout the marina. Winds are already pushing 30 knots, and the forecast for the next few days is for a tropical depression, which means sustained winds of 30 to 34 knots with gusts well above that. So we decide to delay leaving the harbour for a day or two. It's just not a good idea to go anywhere in extreme weather if you don't have to, especially on an unfamiliar boat. Between us, we also decide not to stay at the boat overnight again in the harbour. So as the morning slips away, we pack overnight bags and book 2 rooms at the moorings next door. The moorings is a much bigger charter business that also has a hotel attached to it. All the charter businesses on the island kind of work the same way. Some of the boats in their fleets are owned by the business, while many of the boats are privately owned. When the owners aren't using their boats as part of their contract, the charter business rents them out. In return, the charter company maintains the boats and returns a portion of profits to the owners. As moorings is pretty big, they also profit by running a hotel, providing a convenient place for owners or renters to stay before and after sailing trips.
It's a tough life.
This is a nice place to be. Waited out for a couple of days.
I think so. Let's just see what we can do in the rain.
As sailors, we've all learned to pivot when the weather turns bad. So we decide to rent a car and go explore the island instead. The car company graciously drops the car off at our hotel, so we hop in and head west out of Road Town. In no time, we're out of town and driving the picturesque coast road. Tortola is only 19 kilometers long, so pretty soon we arrive at the far west end of the island at Frenchman's Quay, which is actually an island that is joined to the mainland by a very short bridge. The bay next to the quay is quite sheltered and a great destination for cruisers. It's called Soper's Hole.
Are we coming around this way? At the end? Or no?
No, we could come.
Our plan is to sail north up the east side of the Virgin Islands and try to make our way to Anegada. The Soper's Hole Harbour was historically known as a haven for pirates who would keep watch from the hillsides of the mainland. Now, with its shelter from all sides, it's a great spot for liveaboards and cruisers, plus it has a fleet of charter boats. No visit to Frenchman's Quay would be complete without a visit to Omar's. Happy hour is 4 to 6, and apparently the food is really good. The little dockside village is quite lovely, and we're spending a couple of hours to just hang out.
Oh yeah, wow, beautiful.
The next day, with rain approaching, winds are predicted to gust even higher. At the moorings, few boats have left the dock. Along the shore near the marina, there are still abandoned boats that were damaged during Hurricane Irma in 2017. Tortola is still recovering from the devastation. It took the full force of Irma, killing 4 people and destroying vast amounts of infrastructure. Our friends decide to chill out for the morning, so Laurie and I drive east and stop in at Hodges Creek Marina. It also has lots of charter boats and is a pretty big scuba diving center. Judging by the number of scuba tanks and that most boats are still at the dock, lots of people are waiting for the weather to improve. There are still reminders of the damage from Irma here too. Boats being restored, docks yet to be replaced, sailboats without masts. For everyone in the Virgin Islands, the threat of future hurricanes is always on their mind. For boats, there is a hurricane hole, a supposed safe haven, at nearby Paraquita Bay. But during Irma, all the boats that sought protection there were severely damaged. As we head back along the coast, we see a group of sailors who are excited to sail in this weather. With winds consistently 25 to 30 plus knots, these kite surfers are taking advantage of the protected nearshore conditions of Brandywine Bay. For tourists especially, traveling with kitesurfing gear is relatively easy since the equipment is more compact and cheaper compared to other wind sports. Because the sport combines elements of wakeboarding, windsurfing, skateboarding, and snowboarding, it attracts a lot of people, an estimated 2 million people worldwide. As we head back, the weather starts to close in. A lone boat heads out beating against the wind. By the time we get back to the moorings, the rain starts. In between torrential showers, we hop over to see what it's like at BVI Yacht Charters, just in time for the next downpour.
Torture.
Visibility is pretty much gone.
What do you think?
The ladies decide they'd like to do a little bit of laundry before we get back on the boat. Hopefully tomorrow. The weather does look promising for the next day, and we're getting a bit anxious to get going. So maybe all the pieces will fall into place. It's interesting to see another side of Tortola here, where the feral chickens seem to be in charge. I wonder if they can do anything about the weather. By the time we get back to the hotel and have dinner, the rain is back. Ugh, fingers crossed. Up next on Turn Left Here.
Hey guys!
We're here at the water! Yay! Man, I thought it would never happen.
We finally head out to go sailing. The weather forecast does predict an improvement, but there's no wind. If you like this video, please let us know, and we always love to hear from you in the comments. See you next time.